It is 6:09 a.m. on Tuesday, February 8th, 2022. I have just had the worst, 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 worst dream I've ever had in my life. I mean, this one takes the fucking cake. I'm not going to give you the details because I really don't want to remember any of it. There were people being eaten by reptilians. And it was being done under like this underground library, like underneath a library. There was a library store, and underneath it, they were eating people. These people that were these reptile beings, they were like a mix of different species. It wasn't just reptilians, and it wasn't all reptilians. It was some of them only. They would look like humans, like people you see walking up and down the street. But then their faces would change and they could see people like me that have these abilities. And they would follow them, but be invisible while they're following them. And they were messing with my family and my grandmother and my mother and the houses. And when I went into the library to see what was going on, they had me stuck in the library, this like front cover library store, for like 6 hours while I was asleep. I was stuck in the library and I couldn't get out, and I kept getting eaten and regenerating myself and trying to like become intangible to fly through the walls. And then I would get caught and thrown right back and eaten again. From legs to arm, and it was fucking horrible. And then in the dream, I was like, it was almost as if I was learning, I was doing something to learn, because I knew I was indestructible. So I was seeing how far this is going to go. And I had enough. At one point in the dream, I woke up because my heart felt like there was somebody pushing my heart down, and I woke up out of bed, and I couldn't even breathe. And I went back to sleep, and I fell right back into the library. I fell through the store, through the ground, through my bed, into that fucking library torture chamber. And when I was there, I got so fucking angry. So angry. I exhibited a state of abilities I have never seen performed in my life. These beings that were eating other people, I would look at them and they would disintegrate, like their veins would burst into flames from the inside out, and they were just burning away. They didn't even have time to turn their face before everything just melted off of them. I just kept walking through every wall, through every door, through every floor, through every layer and level, just melting these fucking monsters, one after another. And then I like became intangible, and I flew through the walls and jumped through some dimension thing. And then I was in a high school. It was somewhere in like California or somewhere warmer. And there were people that were packing their things to leave, like to like leave the school. But most of those kids in the school weren't even kids. They were like non-human kids. And they were doing terrible things in the school. And one of them tried to touch me sexually, and I looked at them and I just flew up and left. And then I heard in the back of my mind robotic noises and the sounds of jet planes flying, and then someone saying, "Target the house, we're ready." And I thought, no, they're going for the house. And I teleported, flew, I don't know what the fuck I did. Every like reality itself collapsed on itself. I pulled it all in, flew over to the fucking house, and there was a massive, massive, huge robot that looked humanoid. And it started breaking itself apart and digging itself into the ground farther and farther and farther, like deep into the layer to create like an anchor point between a satellite and the ground. And then it started aiming this like blue gun at this house, that like this weird house that I've never seen, but everybody I knew lived in it. And I looked at it and I saw it, and I swear to God, I have no idea how I did this. I started breaking the robot apart, panel by panel, screw by screw. The thing turned around and almost was sentient, looking at me saying, "What are you doing?" And I took the light it was emitting, the light itself that was emitting from this thing's gun, and I directed it back down into where it was connecting it to this other circuit, and I made it self-destruct itself. My heart feels so heavy right now, like somebody was sitting on my chest, punching me the entire night. I have never seen any of this shit happen in a movie. I've never seen somebody go intangible the way I was. I've never seen someone teleport. I've never seen reptilians shapeshift that way. I've never seen the colors I saw of fucking violence, of monsters smiling as they're eating body parts. And it was normal, like humans eating chicken legs. Oh my God, I feel sick. And then like the amount of telepathy and telekinetics and teleportation and like reality warping abilities, like jumping from one place to the next. Oh, and the courtroom. They were having a fucking courtroom session. This was before I got to the robot, right when it was in between the high school and the robot thing that was attacking the house. There were 3 people who were from the library sitting in court testifying against me for spreading their secrets. And I heard them talk about me, and in the dream from the high school when I flew up, that's when from the dream I flopped back into the courtroom. I heard it. I heard my fucking name being called, and they're like, she's spreading secrets she has no right to be spreading. We're asking to be given permission. And I like flopped into the courtroom, and I looked, and the judge was looking at me like without any problem. And I'm like, what's going on here? And these 3 idiots were sitting there like arguing and testifying about me because I wasn't letting them eat people. And I just looked at them, and I swear to God, my hand just pointing at them, their eyes, their nose, and their mouth disintegrated out of their faces. It was like this violet, like their veins, whatever the veins turned into this electric violet light, and they disintegrated. And as soon as they disintegrated, I was just walking backwards away from them, looking at them, and everybody that kept looking at me, I looked at them and they disintegrated. Like, don't fuck with me. Do not fuck with me. How dare you fucking target a house a grandmother is living in? How fucking dare you eat anybody? How dare you use a fucking front cover shop of a goddamn library? And how dare you attack me in my fucking sleep? How fucking dare you? And you think the worst thing I'm gonna do is disintegrate you with a look? How dare you attack me? And you think you're gonna get me afraid by showing me what? The way you eat? I've seen your insides, and I didn't even have to cut you open.